With our first rough cut, the first problem we had was where we had filmed a woman on the news, then dubbed her with another voice. It was too obvious that what was being said didn't match up with the image.
Also, what did you think of the woman, the news presenter?
I wasn't really in sync.
Yeah. So what would you have done with that?
I still think it would have worked well if they would have just had the news story over the top rather than the video.
Yep.
They could have set it up and got someone else to do it for them rather than the actual news video.
Yeah.
They still could have made it look.
But, so if maybe, Amy, would you have cut it? Would you just maybe sort of just had like a little short bit of the news presenter, just to give that idea it's a news presenter, and then just bridge the dialogue over the top of action?
That would be better.
Yeah? Did you get that? That would have been a lot better, I think. So maybe just a sort of a second or so, just to give you the idea that you've got a news presenter, because I think it takes you a little bit of time to just realise it's just not her actually sort of speaking it. But if you could just a glimpse of her.
So we then shortened the clip down and left the voice over a clip. Next, we received feedback that although it was clear that a music video was being filmed, it wasn't the best execution to have it in the garden.
What did you think of the bandana sort of part?
Made sense.
Yeah.
Made sense.
Yeah.
Don't see much wrong with it.
So what was meant to be happening there? Was that like a sort of a video in the garden?
His idea is supposed to become famous, but all these bands at the moment, they just get this stupid poppy image.
Yeah.
Bandanas, and he's just he's gone away from his roots and he's totally changed.
Yeah.
And he's started to become aware of it, but wrong people are trying to convince him.
I got the idea. I wasn't sure the execution was as good as it could have been. I felt maybe just the outside sort of setting, and there wasn't really sort of very much that sort of suggested why he was there. Maybe it could have been a better location.
So we changed the location to the stage. We had to ask permission for the stage. We decided to make it seem as if the stage scene was a gig that wasn't going very well, instead of carrying on with the music video. If there was one thing I could change, it would be to try and use a spotlight to make it seem a more realistic gig. At one point we tried to convey relationships, as this was used in our influential films. However, we decided not to show this in a rough cut because after we edited it together, we didn't feel that it was conveyed effectively, and so therefore decided not to use it in our film. In my ancillary task, I got feedback that the text conveyed a message that our film would be set in the 60s due to the font looking a bit too fancy. We changed this by using a more basic white font. Next, the spacing of the photo wasn't very good. This was because when the photo was taken it wasn't going to be for the film poster. So then, in my final ancillary task, I took the photo with the purpose of using it for our film poster, resulting in better spacing, so that my poster followed common conventions of putting the title above the character. Lastly, our audience said that they didn't find the bottom line of the text effective. This was firstly due to the colour, meaning that some of the words were not readable against the guitar. In my final ancillary, I used a white text on a black gradient so that the text was readable. Finally, there was an age rating in my draft. This was not conventional, and so I left it out in my final product.